Okay, Jobina, we are talking about a show named Beef. And as you know, beef is, it means something to black people.
Right.
Do you have any beef with anyone?
I do not. I try to minimize all strife in my
You're
life.
not a grudge holder.
I'm not a grudge holder. In fact, like if I truly have beef with you, you have wronged me to a significant extent. I am very forgiving. I try to let stuff go.
What about all the ex-husbands in your past?
Please stop. Listeners, once again, there's only one, and I don't even have beef with him. I don't have any beef. No, sir.
All right, let's start the show. Hey everyone, this is Luther Palmer.
And I'm Jobina Scott.
And welcome to One Episode Stand, a podcast for each episode we watch and discuss the series premiere of a new television show with no spoilers.
And then like the Rolling Stones we move on to the next episode. Everybody's out here having one night stands, but we are having one episode stands.
We love them and leave them. We hit it and quit it. We tap it and scrap it. But we do it for you, the listeners, to help you figure out what new shows to watch and what shows to skip. Jobina, what's good?
It's all good. We are recording in the middle of the day.
It's all good. We are midday. Right.
We are midday. I'm awake.
Our energy is high.
My energy is
up. But we're recording midday because we have failed to record this episode several times in advance. We've had internet issues. We've had sick children. We've had a global pandemic.
There's been a number of challenges.
But let's get into it. We're talking about the show Beef.
Yeah, so Beef is on Netflix. It's 35 minutes. And I just discovered that Beef just fell from number 1 on Netflix. It has now been eclipsed by Love is Blind season 4, which apparently broke Netflix earlier this week. I'm not a fan, but I've seen all the posts about how people couldn't get on. But Beef was number 1 for a while. It stars Ali Wong.
Let me go back because I am a Love is Blind fan. I am a reluctant fan. I do not like the show. I do not like the show.
But you are faithfully watching.
But I have watched all 4 seasons.
You're like, now mind you, I hate it.
I hate it. I hate everything about it.
So
I watch.
You were desperately waiting for Netflix to work out its issues so you could watch.
Well, I wasn't sitting there because there was a live recap show, right? That was the issue. Like they couldn't get it live. I wasn't waiting at that level, but I saw it. I did watch it that night though.
You weren't waiting for that.
Okay, back to Beef.
So Beef is a 35-minute show. Of course, it's on Netflix, as we've already discussed. It is starring Ali Wong. And Ali, this is our second time getting a show where the star of the show is a stand-up comedian who's now moved into acting and has a hit show on Netflix.
Okay.
So of course, we started with Mo.
But that was a dramedy.
There's no comedy
here. I mean, there's some light. There's some light, but it's not a dramedy by any stretch of the
even
imagination.
her breakout movie on Netflix, which I guess came out a year ago, Always Be My Maybe. There's some light comedy, but it is a romantic comedy. It's a romance-driven movie. So I am super into Ali Wong. I love her. I think she's really, really funny. Her last special was really good. So I'm super excited about her success.
Is she from Houston? That is the real question.
No, that's the only thing that could make me love her more. I don't think she's from Houston.
So do you know the guy at all?
No, I'm not familiar with him. This is probably my first time seeing him.
Okay. So
at least that I recognize.
So what else did you know about the show before we picked it for this episode? Just Ali Wong.
I had not even heard that it was out. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know. Netflix was like, hey, Luther, check out Beef. And I said, sure.
Right.
You've never been wrong before Netflix. I'll do it.
You never let me astray.
You never let me astray. I'll do it. So let's talk about what is the show about?
Yeah. So this show, of course, is the backdrop is this beef, this feud really that grows between Ali Wong's character, Amy Lau, and Stephen Yun, who is Danny Cho on the show. They end up, I know. I'm trying to prepare. I'm trying to be better. I'm a professional podcaster, as you know. Right. But this beef starts with what could happen to any of us. Danny is backing out of a parking space in a a fake Costco called Forrester's on the show. Ali Wong kind of comes behind him and he almost hits her. And she gives it to him. She lays it on the horn. She flips him the bird. And like it could have dropped there, but he was having a bad day, so it didn't. And he pursues her and this beef begins.
Well, I thought it was interesting because for much of the first episode, he thought he was having beef with a man. And I think we typically attribute road rage to men. So that was one of the very first that was one of the first moments in the show where I said to myself, okay, this show is layered and nuanced because that was very intentional for them to have the suggestion. Because he's telling his friends, I was following this guy and this guy did this. And all the time we know as the audience that it is a woman.
Yeah. I think like that's the backdrop. Like the beef is the backdrop, but like what this is really about, to your point, is the interesting lives of all of the characters. Yeah. And we get to sort of look behind the curtain and understand beyond this incident what's going on in Amy's life, which is Allie's character, what's going on in Danny's life, which is Steve's character. And they are some really interesting people. Like Allie is grappling with a lot. Like a lot of professional pressure, a lot of family issues, and Steven, too, is like trying to keep his family afloat. So really, really interesting characters in this show. Yeah,
I feel like the show is about unhappiness. And unhappiness, it does not play favorites. Like, it doesn't care if you're wealthy. It doesn't care if you're black, if you're white. It doesn't care if you're Christian, if you're a pagan. Like unhappiness will find you. And it will find you. This show shows two unhappy people who sort of direct all that unhappiness toward each other in many ways because they don't have another outlet to direct the unhappiness.
That's right. Well, and Allie, to your point around, unhappiness being no respecter of persons, Allie should be happy. Like her character, Amy, should be happy. Yeah. She is wealthy. Yeah. She has what appears to be on the surface a good marriage. She's a mom and she's on the cusp of this really big contract deal that's going to set her up to be financially stable, a multi-millionaire for the rest of her life. But she still is unfulfilled, disappointed, and really unhappy with her life.
And he's poor. He's got a struggling business. He kind of like pieces together this handyman job and he kind of learns on the fly. So let me ask you this right off the bat. Did you identify more with either character? Not even in wide swaths, but like, did you say I remember being that way and struggling, or I remember being people thinking I was happy? Did you connect with one of these characters more than the other?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I'm certainly not rich, but I connected with Amy more than Danny because
rich.
I am so
she
not.
Is super super rich.
But I have a career that's fulfilling and I have a family, but there are always challenges. Danny has this line in the show that's there's always something. I feel like that is life for everybody. It's always something. You're doing well. You've got kind of all the trappings of a happy life, but there's always something. So I definitely identified with Amy and how do you shift to finding contentment from things that are not external and surface because there's always something.
Yeah, I think I connected more with him because I feel like I'm hustling right now. And I sometimes I think am I too old to be hustling? And I'm not hustling selling, I'm not selling knockoff Yeezys out the back of my trunk. But I feel like, man, I am grinding. And I feel like at what point do I turn the corner? And so I saw this question on Facebook. It said, before I die, I want to experience blank. And one person said true financial freedom. And I was like, damn, that would be nice. Amazing. That'd be amazing. But then I also think, okay, his perspective of financial freedom was her life, but she had financial freedom and she was not happy. So it's a catch-22. You're trying to get this thing that's not going to make you happy. So I thought the show did an excellent job at this comparison and contrast of these two lifestyles being so different, but yet so the same.
Yeah, well, now I thought you were going to say that you identified with Danny because you are also a contractor. You're working.
Because my man was he's laying tile and he's doing all the things.
He is.
The person was like, "Can you cut down a tree?" He was like, "Yeah, I can cut down a tree."
Absolutely.
He went home and YouTubed that thing. Dude, that is so me. You want to cut a tree down? Let's do it. Like, give me an hour and a half on YouTube and I will be a full-blown professional.
I am in your yard chopping trees. So part of your reasoning, though, for being like, you do all this stuff yourself, like you like it, but you've also said before, like it's hard to find good help. So I wondered if you had any like bad experiences with a contractor where you've hired someone.
You mean other than the time the guy stole my shoes?
No.
So he's at the house working, right? And he's a friend of a friend of a friend, right? So there's like 3 levels of friendship here, right? So he's at the house working,
right?
And he's gone by the time I get there, and I see these black shoes, and I'm like, whose shoes are like these? Are not my shoes. Then I'm like, did he leave his shoes? And then like the next day, I was like, I think he stole my shoes. Like he traded out his shoes for my shoes and straight up left.
But he did leave you his shoes, which was the kindness.
His shoes were the most garbage. Like I don't even think Walmart would sell his shoes. Like Walmart would be like, no, man, these are not appropriate for our clientele. Right? I was like, son of but like my dad is doing a renovation now, and it's just a mad. Like people just don't know. Like they're not even watching YouTube to learn how to tile. They're like, yeah, I can tile. No. They're just coming like, yeah, I saw it happen one time when I was 12, so I can just figure it out. It's just bad. It's just, but the people who are good, they're booked up for like 9 months. That's the problem.
Well, so when I bought my house, I was very much encouraged. I did the whole like build from, in a master plan community, like that whole thing. Yeah. And so when I went to the design center, they were like, I fortunately had a wonderful design, support person who was like, don't buy your hardwoods from us. We mark them way up, like choose the basic stuff, do it aftermarket. So I got this recommendation from my realtor of a guy who could do the stuff aftermarket. Needless to say, he took my deposit and moved to Louisiana.
No.
No, we couldn't find him. We could not find him.
What?
But then we decided, this is like one of the funniest things I feel like I've done in my life. I just was telling a friend about it, and they were like, let's do a sting operation. Like, let's see if we can get him.
What?
So I hired a private investigator.
How have I not heard this story before?
This is such a good one. So I hired a private investigator, and he was like, what you need to do is you need to tell your friend to reach out to this man and just tell him, hey, I've got some work I want to do on my house. Will you come and check it out? And he's like, if he comes, we'll have our guy there ready to serve him. And like that he's got to go to court. And we're going to sue him. So we set up the whole thing. Like my friend talks to the man. They have a time that he's coming to the house. We're all there. Like we can't wait for him to come.
Like y'all are To Catch a Predator. The guy who's going to serve him. To Catch a Predator.
We did a full To Catch a Predator setup. Needless to say, he did not come.
Of course. Of course.
Like he did not come, and my sting operation was
like, yeah, okay, I'll be there. Whatever.
I'll be there.
This is not
2:00.
You were not the first person he stole money from. Let me just.
Clearly not. He was like, you can't fool me, lady. So I had to.
So he's just out there right now.
Yet again.
He
is. If you're listening to this podcast, sir, you owe me.
And you know who you are. You know who you are. Hilarious. So there were some other couple things that I wanted to bring up because she has some type of mental health. She's in counseling. I'm not going to say she has a mental health issue. I'm just saying she's in counseling.
She's in counseling.
Because I think we need to differentiate between a person who's in regular counseling and just has challenges and a person who has diagnosed mental health issue. But one of the things her husband says, and kind of a not demeaning, and what's the word where you kind of talk down to someone?
Patronizing. He's so patronizing.
He's like, hey, we need to focus on the positive. Maybe we should focus on your gratitude journals.
Right.
And I was just like, gratitude journals just sound so gross. But do you have any like stress relieving or anxiety relieving practice like yoga? Do you do gratitude journals? Do you meditate?
I do not gratitude journal. I wish I could meditate. I don't have the discipline to quiet my brain. Like I can hardly quiet my brain to go to sleep at night.
But I think that's the point, though.
I know.
The point is
shouldn't be
learning how to
trying.
do it, right? Like it's not.
I should be trying.
It's not quieting. It's the process of quieting, right?
Yeah, I should be working on it, but I'm not. Honest to goodness, the only thing I do to relieve stress is walk on my treadmill. That's it. That's all I got. I have no sage advice. I have no wisdom.
Right.
But now here's the thing. Are you on your 10th or 11th gratitude journal? Where are you?
I never. Did you ever do any journaling at all when you were young?
Yeah, I had a diary when I was young.
Okay.
I did. I was like, dear diary. No. I'm sure I left them at my parents' house. My mom read them. I threw them away.
Were you putting juicy stuff in there?
I mean, I was like, dear diary, I like this boy in my 5th grade class. He is so cute. I'm sure that's what I was saying, but it gets boring. I mean, I don't know.
Right,
it gets boring.
Yeah, I don't have any gratitude journals. I don't. The only thing I do to relieve stress is probably something, how do I put this delicately?
Gee.
Internet research, I think people call it.
Some internet research. Well, I mean, it takes all things to relieve stress.
The other thing in this show that I found interesting is there's a lot of, I think, like technology. Like his brother's into crypto, and he tells his brother to he was like, write down all your passwords because he's going to take his access to these crypto accounts away. He says, write down all your passwords. And I'm thinking, who can do that? Like, it would take me.
No, not me.
It would take me a year and a half to like locate all of my passwords. Do you use the phone's password saver?
Yes, I try to use that. I try to do Face ID because I cannot remember them. And then they will suggest to me that I change it because I don't know, someone's trying to hack into my account. And I'm like, but if I change it, I will never get back in here ever. Right. I should be putting them. I have a friend who has like a spreadsheet with every account and every password. I just can't do it. I just try to do variations on a theme. If I can just try to keep this basic rhythm of letters and numbers in my head, that's the best I can do.
Okay, more or less. What do you want to see more of or less of?
I want to see more of the feud. I just want them to keep going because I have a feeling that they are just going to amp up and amp up and amp up. So I definitely want to see that. And then I think that there are, again, because you mentioned this earlier, there's some interesting characters. I imagine that they're all going to have interesting backstories. I want to know what's going on with Danny's brother Paul. I want to know what's going on with the husband. I want to understand why.
You told me that Paul was a hottie. So it's no surprise to me that you are now saying
let me tell you something.
Want to see more about Paul's life.
I should have just answered the question truthfully. What do you want to see more of? Paul.
Right. But Paul isn't the sharpest knife in the drawer.
He's not, but he is lovely.
He is very stereotypically hard body and soft brain.
Paul. What about you? What do you want to see more of?
I want to see. So this is interesting because I listened to a whole podcast about this show and with the creators of the show. And
you didn't want to recommend it to me.
I forgot. It's been so long since we talked about recording this episode. But they were talking about how they were very deliberate about limiting the number of scenes that the two main characters are together. Because although they have this beef with each other, their on-screen time together is very, very limited. Because they said we knew these scenes were magic and we want the audience to thirst for these scenes. And I find myself wanting, I want them to come together. They also, this was, listening to this podcast, I got to find what it is and I'll put it in the show notes when we publish this episode. But they were so deliberate about so many choices about how they shot this movie. It is just fascinating. It's a behind the scenes look at even things like they were saying whenever the two main characters were in the scene, were in a scene, though that person would be closer to the camera than anyone else, so that you sort of feel what they feel and you get more connected.
What they feel in the moment. And
I was just like, wow. I'm thinking how many of these things do we see in movies and television shows that we're not aware of, but yet our emotions are being
we experience
we experience it, but we don't know about it. So it's fascinating. So I want to see more of them together. They have a chemistry. At first I thought first I thought, oh, they're gonna get together, right? Like, oh, they're gonna fall in love. But then I said, no. Like once he peed on her bathroom, I was like, oh no, they'll never get together. Like I can't look past that.
Well, Luther, when I saw that scene, my immediate thought went to the fact that you, unlike me, have never had the pleasure of helping your son learn to aim in the right direction so as not to mess up the whole bathroom. That is really a thing. It is a thing. I don't know if they're not paying attention. I don't know what it is, but it's hard.
Well, kids are just so oblivious in life. I can only imagine a 2-year-old, 3-year-old just being oblivious to just like.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, in general, I'm in here and I'm not going in my pull-up.
Yeah, that was so after the initial road rage, he did a internet search for her, and I'm wondering,
he memorized her license plate number.
Do you ever do searches for people? Do you ever dig in on people?
No.
Come on, Jobina.
No, what am I going to do that for? There's no purpose.
I will do it if we're house hunting, right? And I see a house that I like, I will go on the internet and I will find the owner of that house and I will dig. You will learn about them. I'm not even going to use it. I'm just nosy. I want to know when they bought the house. I want to know who else lived in the house. I want to know how old they are. I want to know where they went to college. I want to know where they lived before. I do it all the time. And I'm obsessed. I've never paid for it, but if the information's out there, I will find it.
You're going to get it.
Yeah, and I will sit across from the table from you, and I will look at you knowing all about your life. And that's satisfaction enough.
Well, you could have I have a background in fundraising. You could have a career. I mean, if you want to stop hustling, you could have a great career.
Well, how does fundraising? What's the connection?
Well, because you have to know about people, about, folks who represent a foundation. It's good to know about them so that you can have a cogent conversation.
So you can blackmail them.
No, know what inspires them to give, sir.
We know about the skeletons in your closet, bruh. Come off the money for the kids, man.
Okay, I take it back. You have no future in fundraising.
I'm going to inspire you to give by showing you these pictures of yourself last night. Do you feel inspired yet?
No.
Okay, married, killer, one night stand.
Not.
So I'm going to go to the obvious. I'm going to go to the obvious main character. What'd you say his name was? Paul?
Paul.
Married, killer, one night stand. This is
going to be my first one night stand pick.
Oh, really?
I mean, who's gonna marry Paul? Not me. But
Paul's in a struggle. He's in a struggle mode.
Yeah, but he's too pretty to kill. You're not gonna kill him.
Wait, are you talking about the brother or the main character?
Paul is the brother.
No, I'm talking about the main character. I'm talking about the main character.
Get your name straight.
Whatever his name. What is his name? John, Tony, Tom,
Danny. Get it together. Danny. No, I'm gonna kill him.
You're gonna kill Danny? Come on. He's already hard on his luck.
He is. I'm just gonna relieve him of his stress in life.
Right. I'm doing this for you, Danny.
I'm doing this for you.
This hurts me more than it hurts you,
more
Danny.
More than it hurts you, my friend. Oh, no. All right. So you gave me the main character, even though you really should have given me his brother. I'm going to give you Ali Wong. Amy.
Amy. I'm gonna one night stand Amy. Because she had some intriguing sexual interest that
yes you did. That surprised me. I was like, wait, what is happening here?
Okay, let's get more into this.
That was new to
me. Let's open this door a little bit. I would like to open that door with her and walk through it. But just once, because it's a lot. It's like, whoa, I just want to do one door and then go back out that same door
one time and then get out.
So I'm a one night stand Amy. Okay, so now the question we've all been waiting for: are you going to watch more, or was this a one episode stand?
I'm going to and have been watching more. I just have to confess.
You're already in.
I'm already in. I love this show.
Yeah, it's very good. I'm gonna watch more too. I've already watched another episode. I didn't go all in. To me, this show is like how Fleischman kind of captivated the TV world.
Yes.
And people were talking about it. People were talking about the surface story, but then also the depth of the story. I think Beef is having that same energy.
It's having that same moment.
Having that same moment, right. So I'm looking forward to watching it because everything I hear about it is just, it's just so layered. So there even like one scene where she goes into work and her assistant is just talking about how great Allie's life is. And Allie's like, I wake up every day grateful. And she's being sarcastic. But just that, in that moment, and they move on very quickly, just in that moment, you can just pause it and think about like the ramifications of all that happened in that scene. This person's working for you, wanting to be you, and you hate your life.
Wanting your life.
Just powerful. There was so many powerful scenes like that. We can just stop and talk about it. This is one of those shows. I think there will be podcast episodes dedicated to each episode of this show, not like a summary like we're doing, but like episode 2, episode 3, and really getting into it, how it's shot, with the feelings that came up, the moments. So I'm really looking forward to this show.
100%.
Okay, I think that's it. I think we covered it. Anything else you want to say about the show?
No, watch it. It's great.
Yeah, so thank you for listening to One Episode Stand. If you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe to the podcast to be alerted when new episodes drop. If you are listening on iTunes, if you have not yet given us a 5-star rating, you are the problem. I have beef. We have beef with you. The theme music is Freedom by Paradox Hip Hop, and we'll be back next time with another series premiere. Jobina, every story has a moral. Let's end on this. What is the moral of this episode?
I usually try to pick a funny moral, but for me, the moral of this episode, and I'm guessing the series, is that life is complex, and like there are challenges at every social strata and every circumstance. Like there are challenges to be faced. So don't envy other people. You never know.
I think mine is just be careful with the road rage, because you just don't know. You don't know the life the other person is living.
You don't.
And that person has. So I always used to think like one of the reasons I have never been in a fight. One of the reasons I've never been in a fight is because I always feel like I have a lot to lose, and the person you're fighting against, he might have nothing to lose.
Nothing.
So he might be willing to take this to levels I'm not willing to go. So I've always tried to like skirt out of these situations because I got too much to lose. And here's a situation where both of these characters felt like we got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I will pee on your floor. I will paint on your truck. Like, I will do all the things. So just easy with the road rage, everybody.
Yeah.
And get counseling. Seek professional help.
Seek counseling.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.